Hey everybody, I'm really excited today for a new episode of The King's Hunt because today I've got a classic example. It's considered to be one of the most beautiful combinations in chess history and it involves a King's Hunt. So let's go for it. It's the game Klugsberg against Miguel Najdorf, played in 1929. Najdorf, very famous player. You might have heard of the opening, the Knight of Sicilian, named after him. He's playing with the black pieces. And this is quite a difficult one. So I would recommend you to take a good amount of time to calculate this particular position because there's a lot of sidelines involved, difficult moves to spot, so you can really go into the position and get a lot out of it in case you don't know it yet. If you know it yet, it's not as exciting, but still maybe you want to try and see if you can, well, not remember everything, but see if you can get it right. Okay, so stop the video right now, and now I'm going to show it. So black to move would like to bring his queen into attack, but right now the bishop is blocking the square on h2. So what is black doing? He's just removing this bishop from h2, playing the bishop to g1. Now with the obvious idea to bring the queen to h2, and also on a side mark there's the threat of taking on e3. Let's say if white plays a move like knight h3, then black could take on e3. So white took on g1 and he took with the knight. He has to take with the knight, by the way. If he takes with the king, of course it's made immediately, and if he takes with the rook, it's made in two as well, because either way, king f1 or king f3 is answered by queen f2. By taking with the knight, white is still occupying or keeping an eye on the square on f2, and he's not being checkmated immediately. So the question is now, how is black continuing his attack? And again, you can have another think. You can stop the video once again if you have not seen it yet before. This will make it a little bit easier because we're far ahead now. There will be more exercise to come. But how to continue the attack at this point with black? Okay, so Najdorf crushed through in the center by playing e5, the obvious threat of playing e4, now bringing all his pieces into play. The bishop and the knight on c8 and d8 come into play. So e4 is the threat white has to cope with, so he takes on e5. But now, that was the whole idea, black is sacrificing another piece. Knight takes e5, take, knight takes, king is further pushed towards the open, king f4, knight g6, check, king f3. So black at least has a perpetual. This is always a nice thing to have because now you have a safe anchor at least. You can, if you don't find anything better, you have a draw. And this is something you would like to look out for in your own games. If you're in the attack and you sacrifice something, make sure that you at least have a perpetual or something alike. So if you don't have a promising continuation, you can at least save yourself to a draw. But here black is having a promising continuation, but what can he do? It's your turn again, another exercise. Please stop the video and try to find the right move. Okay, so what Najdorf did, he played f4, opening up the diagonal for the bishop. And now white took on f4, and we can have another exercise actually right here. What was this whole idea? In case you haven't seen the move f4, you can have another thing right here. What to play now? Why did Najdorf play f4? I kind of hinted at it already. The bishop was freed his way to go to g4, giving a check. Of course, white pretty much has to take. If he, well, he doesn't have to take, but if he goes to e3, he loses his queen, and black is still in the attack. All these pawns are falling. It's just over. So king takes g4, and so what was the whole idea of that? in case you haven't spotted it yet, you can have another think. Why did he do that? Why did he sacrifice pawn and a bishop just in the last 2 moves to do that? Okay, I will conclude the game right now. It's mate in 2. The idea is that now knight e5 check and the king cannot retreat to f3. King doesn't have any move to play, has to take, and now the rook is taking away all the square on the f-file, so black can deliver checkmate on h5 after having sacrificed all 4 minor pieces. First the bishop, then the knight, then another bishop, and then finally the last knight remaining. But queen and rook are taking away all the squares and black is delivering a checkmate. I think it's absolutely appropriate to call this combination one of the most beautiful ones ever played. Very, very beautiful play by Najdorf. Let me know if you saw it from the beginning. I mean, that would be pretty amazing if you saw it from the beginning. Maybe you saw kind of the ideas, but let me know in the comments how you liked it, and I'll see you next week again with the next episode of the King's Hann. Bye.